Hello, everyone. This is Independent Conservative. Thank you all for joining me once again. I normally don't do videos this time of the day, but I wanted to do this video because it was just been heavy on my heart. And I really wanted to address it before I forget to address it. Now, I should have addressed it in the past, but I didn't because I felt there was no need to. I mean, people were going to say what they want to say, they want to believe what they want to believe, and that was going to be it. But I decided to want to address this issue now because a video was sent to me, and it essentially showed what's his name? What's that sportscaster's name? What is that sportscaster's name? Stephen A. Smith. I don't know, for whatever reason. I must be getting old. That's must be Stephen A. Smith. Well, anyway, I was watching this video. I don't know if it was a TikTok video or whatever. And it was Stephen A. Smith ranting about Trump erasing Black history. Now, Black History Month is over. Here we are. We're in, what, March? And so Black history is long over. But I felt the need to address this issue because of the rhetoric that is being spun by so many people who don't know. They don't know. I mean, if all you're watching is the mainstream media, or if all you're getting your news or your information is from the left, or for people who hate Trump or, despise his administration, most of the time you're going to get is going to be negative. Okay. So I felt the need to address this in a video so that I could give a deeper, more detailed opinion on the issue. But evidently, I had to look up some information and go back in time and find an article on the idea or the concept of whatever of Trump supposedly trying to erase Black history. And I found an article on Newsbreak. And the article was dated from February the 4th. Now, apparently, Trump had some kind of event that he was doing, and he mentioned Black history. And essentially, he stated, and I'm going to say this right up front before I start reading the article, and I'm going to comment as I read the article. I'm going to comment on some of the paragraphs that Black history is not different from American history, or Black history is a part of American history. Now, that bothered a lot of people, but I'm going to show you how misguided people's views about that bothering them really is, in my opinion. Okay. Because, it's now this article that I'm going to read to you guys is an opinionated article. It is someone that is writing. They're giving their opinion, like I'm giving my opinion in this video. They're giving their opinion of what Trump said essentially during the month of February. Okay. And they're giving their opinion. And they're accusing Trump of trying to erase Black history by trying to make it no less distinct than any other aspects of American history. How that's erasing Black history, I don't know. But we're going to get into the detail of this. Right up the front, I want to say this too before I go any further, that I see Marxism all over this article. I see Marxism big time, and I'm going to, if I remember, I'm going to go into the detail of what I mean when I say I see Marxism in this article. So let's get right into this. The title of the article says, Trump uses Black History Month to issue proclamation erasing Black history. There is a President Donald Trump has issued a proclamation meant to honor Black History Month that bizarrely argues against the very existence of Black history that is distinct from that of other Americans. Now, right off the bat, the writer of the article is trying to show you that Black history is distinct from that of other Americans. Right off the bat, they're trying to show you and the reader that Black people in America are a special class of people. Okay, we are a special class of people. Now, they don't state in the article that we are distinct in the sense that some of our ancestors were brought here on slave ships and many of them were slaves. They don't say that. They just say that, hey, we're distinct from that of other Americans. So right off the bat, in a roundabout way, they're elevating Black people in America over everyone else. That's Marxism right there. You already are separating Black people from everyone else. Let's go on. In my opinion, in a statement posted on the White House website, Trump, 79, framed, quote, National Black History Month around the upcoming 250th anniversary of American independence on July. He declared that, quote, Black history is, quote, not distinct from American history, but merely an indispensable chapter in our grand American story. So apparently, according to the writer of this article, and I think I've heard some of the speech that Trump gave, I didn't hear all of it, that Trump declaring Black history is not distinct from American history, but merely an indispensable chapter in our grand American history is an affront to Black history. That we are distinct. We're different from everyone else. I'm going to get into the detail of that, of why I think that that's painted with Marxism and clearly divisive. I mean, it's clearly divisive to me, but let's get right into this. The proclamation praised, quote, countless Black American heroes. So here, Trump is praising Black people. Black History Month. I mean, Lord, what more do Black people want? What more do Black people want in this country? I don't understand. I just don't understand. But let's go on, man. The proclamation praised, quote, countless Black American heroes for contributions spanning government, law, the military, culture, and the economy, before saying that those contributions are not remarkable because of skin color, so therefore shouldn't be celebrated separately. So what I'm reading here is that the writer of this article is simply saying is that Trump did not use that as to make Black people distinct from everyone else. Black people are not, this is what they're saying to me. Black people are, that Trump's saying, Black people are not, Black people in history that made history are no different than anyone else that made history. So why is that an issue? Why does the writer of this article feel the need to separate Blacks from everyone else? Where are we? Let's get into, I'm gonna get into the detail of that. America's founding was rooted in the belief that every man, woman, and child is created equal, the proclamation states, adding that those principles, quote, inspired and informed the independent, bold, and pioneering American spirit. It credited their belief in equality with driving, quote, Black American icons to help fulfill the promise of these principles. Now, the writer of the article goes on to say this. The document then pivots from commemoration to criticism. Now, what I've just read was good. Trump recognized Black achievement in this country. The only thing was when he said it was no different than any other accomplishment per se, or that it was part of American history. I don't see a problem in saying that it's part of American history, because Black history is a part of American history. We're going to get into the detail of that. But when you start separating it from regular American history, it makes a lot of, in my opinion, low self-esteem, self-loathing Black people feel a need to feel special. We'll get into that. Oh boy. For decades, the progressive movement and far-left politicians have sought to needlessly divide our citizens on the basis of race, the proclamation says, and he's right, alleging they have painted, quote, a toxic and distorted and disfigured vision of our history, heritage, and heroes. The left has done that. The left is nothing more, on the political side, is nothing more than soft Marxists and soft communists. Their purpose is to create division. And that's what they have done for decades. Let's go on. Rather than focusing on, so the writer of the article says, rather than focusing on difference, it argues, the month should celebrate shared commitment to liberty on, quote, one beautiful American flag. So this writer, once again, wants to separate Black people and Black history from everyone else. We're different. Notice what it says. Rather than focusing on difference, it argues, the month should celebrate shared commitment to liberty under one beautiful American flag. Well, all black people who were born in America are born in where? America. We weren't born in Africa. Our ancestors may have been, but we as black people today were born in America. That makes us American. We don't speak African. We speak English. We are Americans. Therefore, regardless of our ancestors who were brought here on slave ships, we're distinct in that sense. We're distinct from them because we didn't suffer slavery. We didn't get whipped on our backs. We didn't have chains placed on us. We were born free, speaking English. So in that sense, we're distinct from our ancestors, but we are not distinct from many of the American values that black people absorbed in this country as the decades went on. I guarantee you somebody's gonna have a problem with this. I guarantee you. But I'm gonna get into that. I'm gonna give you my peace of mind on that. Trump also used the proclamation to highlight plans for a new statutory park, presumably part of his wider Washington, D.C. makeover, that will include figures such as Booker T. Washington, Jackie Robinson, Aretha Franklin, Coretta Scott King, and Muhammad Ali, among others. And I'm reading this and I'm like, so what's the problem? He's recognizing black people. He's going to put all these images up here, these people that have done great things in this country. What's the problem? Oh, I get it. I get it. They're not elevated as God figures over everyone else. That's the problem. That's the issue with the writer of this article. Anyway, the garden, he said, is meant to honor black Americans while remaining part of a broader national monument. Wow. The wording suggested that the plans for the so-called National Garden of American Heroes, quote, a new statutory park honoring our greatest Americans, end quote, would not focus exclusively on black Americans who made history. Well, it shouldn't. Why should it? You see the division? Why should the monuments focus exclusively on black people and what they did? Why? If it's supposed to be a monument commemorating in combination with American history and our 250th birthday, if it's supposed to be a monument contributing to the value of many other people, then why should it focus on just one group of people in the country? That's not what it's for. So it would be wrong to just pick black people out of everybody else and say, oh, they're the ones we're going to focus on completely because, hey, they're special. They're distinct because their ancestors were slaves. We're going to get into this. I'm going to get it deeper. The statement also plugged a previous executive order issued last spring aimed at promoting, quote, excellence and innovation at historically black colleges and universities. See, some black folks are just not satisfied. The man's still trying to help black people out, and they still saying he racist. Let's go ahead. Which Trump said would ensure, quote, the next generation of leaders in the black community will learn from these great American examples. What more do you want the man to do? You want him to bow down and say, oh, mighty black people, you're the greatest of all. You're greater than anyone. You've contributed so much to American history. What do you want? What do they want from this man? In wrapping up his proclamation, Trump appeared to slip into the same rhetoric he has used to boast of his leadership ahead of upcoming midterm elections, saying, quote, I am fighting every day to make our neighborhoods safe, groceries more affordable, and the American dream more attainable for all Americans, end quote. Okay, call it rhetoric or whatever. You can call it rhetoric all day. But he's one man. Ain't but so much he can do. That's all I'm reading. That's all the whole entire. There's but so much he can do. That a lot of this stuff has to be voted on in Congress. He's not a dictator. See, it's interesting to me how a lot of black people and a lot of people in this country try to accuse Trump of being a dictator. And yet at the same time, the things that they want him to be a dictator. Because the only way that they can get what they want for their particular group, Trump would have to become a dictator. But on the other hand, everything else Trump is trying to push, oh, he's a dictator. He's a dictator when it's for someone else, but when it's for them and what they want, No, no, no. It ain't a dictatorship. It ain't a dictatorship. Give us what we want. We want to be unique. We want to be a unique class and a unique group of people. Give us what we want. That entails a dictatorship, which is not going to happen because you got to get the vote in the Senate and in the House of Representatives. Now, let's get on this situation here. Once again, as I said at the beginning of this to me is clearly Marxism, designed to keep blacks divided. Everything that I read in that article, really, at the most part, is someone who's feverishly angry that Trump did not elevate Black history and Black History Month as distinct from everyone else. Oh my God, these are the greatest people. That's what I feel that the writer of this article is saying. No matter what that man does or what he says to try to show that he's trying to help Black people, a lot of us as Black people, we still give in to the rhetoric. We still give in to the rhetoric that the man is racist. Let me just say this. Number one, in the 1990s, and it needs to be repeated, and I saw the video, in the 1990s, Trump was seen, I think it was a C-SPAN or somewhere where Reverend Jesse Jackson was having some kind of a fundraiser or whatever for, I believe, his Rainbow Coalition organization. And Trump donated a significant amount of money. It was thousands of dollars. I know that. And I recall looking at Jesse Jackson shaking Donald Trump's hand, thanking him for contributing to his organization. Now, I find that odd that if Trump was racist, then why would he be given thousands of dollars to an organization focusing only on Black people? I find that interesting. Another thing, during the 80s and the 90s, Black people, particularly the hip hop community, was all on Trump's jock. They were loving on Trump, loving him, all talking about him. I mean, even on some of the TV shows in the past, before he became president, they was praising him, interviewing him, asking him, is you going to ever become the president? And I began to dig a little bit deeper, and I found out that perhaps the reason, if not the only reason why everybody loved Trump, the hip hop community and Democrats such as Jesse Jackson and others loved him, was because, according to this resource, Trump was a registered Democrat. It wasn't until he started running for president as a Republican that, oh my God, he's racist. And you want to know why people started saying he's racist? Because blacks have been brainwashed and conditioned to believe that the Republican Party is the racist party and the Democrats are the friends of politicians. Of Black people. Democrats are their friends. The problem with that worldview is it's a big fat lie. Democratic politicians were not and are not Black people's friends. Let me get a little history here to a lot of the Black people. I'm not saying anyone is watching this video. I'm going to assume some of you probably know, but then some of you don't. So for those you don't know, keep an open ear. It was the Democratic Party that created the KKK. It was a Democratic Party that created the Jim Crow laws in the Deep South. It was the Democratic Party that pushed against the Civil Rights Act. Watch this now. Initiated in 1866. Oh, you said, wait a minute, hold it. Well, I thought the Civil Rights Act occurred in 1964 under Democrat Lyndon B. Johnson. He was the one that said, we need to rewind that. Because in 1866, the first actual act of Civil Rights Act was initiated to liberate blacks and give them, I think, free housing, give them equal rights and equal billing to housing and things of that nature. It was a bill that was supposed to help Black people. And guess who was trying to push that bill to help Black people? Republicans. And guess who was against that bill? Democrats. And that's why that bill never went anywhere, because Democratic politicians voted against it. I could go on, but I'm trying to give you people a little history here. This article is clearly, in my opinion, an Marxist attempt to keep black people from voting for Trump or voting for Republicans, rather, in the bigger picture, and vote for Democrats. Because the Republicans are racist and the Democrats are your friends. When are we as black people in this doggone country going to wake up and smell the coffee? When? Take a swig here, man, because this is ridiculous. You see, here's my thing. Going back to this whole idea stated in the article of black history being distinct from everything else, okay, all other forms of history and other people in America. Why is there a need for so many of us, and I'm including myself in this, okay? Although I don't have that need, I'm going to include myself in this in a roundabout way, so I don't think I'm picking on them. Why do we as black people in this country have a need, so much of a need for self-identity? Why do we have this pull to be distinct from everyone else? Are we still that weak that we need a president, Democrat or Republican, to elevate us to a height of God, of being a God practically, of the greatest people in the world? Oh, we got it going on better than anyone else. Why do we have that need? To me, that is weak and it's simping. We become a subculture of simps. Whatever you say, mighty government. If you say we great as black people, we great. But if you don't say we great, then we ain't great. I need you to say that I'm great. I need you to tell me that I'm somebody. I just need you as a black man. I'm gonna bring this over to myself. I'm gonna make it distinct to me. I need the government to tell me as a black man that I'm special, that I'm somebody. I need that, because if they don't tell me that I'm distinct from the Asians, the Asian Americans, and the Hispanic Americans, and the white Americans, and everybody else, that I'm distinct from them, then I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I know people tell me I need to read and educate myself, but I don't want to do that. I'm tired of reading, man. I hate reading. Reading is boring. I need the government to tell me that. You see how crazy that sounds? This is the mindset, in my opinion, of so many black people in America. We have an identity crisis that I feel we should have overcame 1,000 years ago. Why are we still holding on to that identity situation? Black History Month, in my opinion, the only thing, first of all, let's look at what Black History Month is. Black History Month is the celebration, as it said in the article, at least to some extent. Black history is simply the celebration and accomplishments of black men and women in this country from its inception until now. That's essentially what it is. Now, the purpose behind Black History Month could be argued that at one point, many black people that accomplished great things in this country were not recognized for what they accomplished simply because they were black. And that was the situation. Hence the Black History Month. Black History Month was supposed to be a month to recognize these individuals and what they did. All Trump was doing was saying Black History Month, and the people men and women who contributed great achievements in America is not distinct from anyone else that achieved great things in this country. It's just that black people were a part of that same history. That's all he's saying. In my view, he's not trying to erase black history. And let me say this. Even if he did erase, let's just say, for instance, for the sake of saying, let me take another swig here because, man, this to me is silly. Let's just say, for instance, black history gets erased. Black History Month, they erase it. They take it off the calendar. It will just become another month. I had somebody and I had somebody in my church actually make this statement during Sunday school. Literally. Because I told them that the government had removed prayer out of the schools and so forth, and that's one of the reasons why there's so many issues, and replaced it with replace prayer and creation with the theory of evolution to teach to our children. That's one of the reasons why our children are so jacked up. And the person said, they're also trying to take Black history out of the schools. And I'm thinking to myself, what's that got to do with how our kids are messed up? But I didn't even get into that. I said, well, you know what? That's something distinct, and I'm not going to get into it here. I'll talk to you later after class. People, man, we just sit up and we absorb stuff that's just poisonous to us, because we simply don't know, because we don't take the time to go outside what we hear and see on the mainstream major news source. But anyway, assuming that they remove Black History Month out of February, that there's no more Black History Month, that is just a regular month, I wonder how Black people as a whole in America will react to that. If they do that, are they erasing Black history? Because if Black History Month has been in existence for decades, which it has been, mostly everyone here in America knows about the aforementioned Black History Month. So if they were to erase it or get rid of it or eradicate it, and February just becomes another month, like any other month, everybody would know consciously that month was Black History Month. And if I want to know something about Black men and women who achieved greatness in America, hey, I can go to the library and look it up. I can look it up on the internet. I can Google it. There's all kinds of ways that people can take the initiative to research it themselves. But no, on the flip side of it, if something like that happens, oh my God, every Black person that's lacks knowledge and understanding and lacks any sense of identity is going to go crazy. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Look, let me tell you something. I said and I say it again. As a Black man, I myself do not have the need to be recognized as a Black person. As a Black man, I'm glad and thankful to God that He created me a Black man. I don't elevate the fact that I'm Black over everything else, but I'm thankful to God that He created me this way, and I wouldn't want to be any other way, but any other ethnic group. And I say ethnic group because there's only one race, that's the human race, with different subdivisions and different ethnic groups with different shades of color and different shades of melanin. That's it, okay? But I would not elevate my Blackness in the sense that to affirm my identity. For me, my identity is in who I am as a believer in Christ and how He sees me. And according to the 139th division of Psalms, David said that he was fearfully and wonderfully made. And guess what? Since that's the word of God applicable for all generations, that means the same with me. I am fearfully and wonderfully made, and my soul knows that right well, that God knit me together in my mother's womb. He knit me together, meaning He took His time creating me. He took His time putting my personalities into my DNA and my genes. That was there by God's design. He could have made me anyone else. He didn't. He made me who I am and made me born Black. And I wouldn't want to reverse it. But it isn't because I'm elevating my Blackness over anything else. My identity is twofold for me. What God says about me and what I personally like and what my gifts and talents are. That's my identity. That's how I identify myself. I don't necessarily identify myself as a Black man per se in the sense of elevating myself over anyone else or saying I'm a Black man and that makes me different than you. In other words, I'm different than this person or that person because I'm Black. No, I'm different than this person or that person because I'm Ryan. I have a distinct personality. Has nothing to do with my melanin. Has nothing to do with my shade or color. It has to do with my own unique personality. When I go to a job, let me say this, I'm going to start closing this up because this video went longer than normal, but I had to talk about this because I had to get into the details of it. The last job interview I had, when I walked into the office and the two individuals were there to interview me, for the job I had prior, the interviewer, he leaned back in his chair and he said, "Man, you have a very impressive resume." Now, I'm not saying that to brag. But when he looked at my resume, he didn't see me. He didn't see a picture of me. I didn't take a picture of my black face and plant it on there. I didn't put down on there, am I black or white? I didn't do anything there. I didn't put a mark, I'm black, so I want you to know I'm black. I didn't do any of that. I gave him my qualifications and my work experience. And when he saw that, and I finally walked into the office, he said, lean back in the chair and said, wow, you have an impressive resume. He didn't say, "Ooh, you a bad black man. Ooh, brother, you are distinct from everybody else because you black." No, he looked at my resume and saw my qualifications and my experience and wanted to interview me. And I got the job. Not because I was black, but because I qualified for the position, probably overqualified for the position. You get my point? I mean, why do we as black people in America have that need? I think we need to grow up. I think black people in America need to grow up and be individuals and not have a need to be black. I have a need to be black among all these other ethnic groups. I gotta maintain my distinctiveness. And that's why I believe, and I'm gonna start summing this up, that's why I believe a lot of these black celebrities and so forth try to attach themselves to a lot of these thuggish, ghetto subcultures. Because for whatever reason, they think that that's being black. That's unique blackness. But that's not unique blackness. It's a subculture, but it is not the totality of being black. All black people don't like to listen to Cardi B and the rest of them. All black people don't walk around with the pants hanging down. All black people don't do this. They don't. I can't even do it. I look corny doing it because that's not me. All of us are different. We are in different subgroups like every ethnic group in this country. I think we should look at each other as individuals. It's, in my opinion, it's character that matters most, not your skin tone. I'm just saying I could create another video on that. But I wanted to say that, and I wanted to address that. No, Trump was not and is not trying to erase black history. All he is doing is saying is that black history and Black History Month is a part of American history, and it is. To separate the two is to keep division going, and that is what the liberals, as he said in the article, Trump said in the article, liberals and Democrats have been doing to keep us divided so that when it comes time to vote, blacks will keep on voting for the slave-inducing Democrats and won't vote for the Republicans. That's all that's about. So that's what I wanted to say about that. What do you guys think? Leave your comments in the comment section below. Like, share, subscribe to my channel. God bless you all. See you again.